Zach Clark here for Space Coast Daily. I'm here with, as always, Orville and Steve. We're here at the 7th Annual Art and Crafts Festival here in the city of Rockledge. Guys, you guys helped put this on. Talk about the event. You guys had Queen Elsa out here today. You guys had some beautiful cars out here yesterday, some old classics. Talk about the event in general.
Last couple of days have been a lot of fun for us in the city of Rockledge. This is the 7th Annual Art and Crafts Show. On Saturday, we brought in about 75 classic show cars. We have 80 arts and crafts vendors both Saturday and Sunday. You mentioned Queen Elsa. Olaf was here, Brevard Zoo had some animals here. Just a lot of excitement, something that the city tries to do for the residents each and every year. We put on as many different events as we can. The weather's fantastic, the crowd's been great, been a lot of fun.
Talk about how much this means, Orville, to the city of Rockledge.
Well, you know, a lot of it has to do with economics, bringing people to Barton Boulevard. You know, we're not like Cocoa Village where we have a village atmosphere or anything like that. This is just a main thoroughfare to get from Fisk Boulevard to US 1. So they kind of shortened it up. You know, 7 years ago they started with redoing the streets, went in with a new light posts, new sidewalks, widened the streets, things inside, you know, the media's in the middle and stuff like that, and changed the whole atmosphere and the whole look of Barton Boulevard. And then they started doing the car shows and the craft shows to bring more people to Barton Boulevard. You know, now they want you to be able to come down here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you and your wife walk your dog or take the kids for a walk down the sidewalk or whatever and look around. But the big thing economically, it brings people to Barton Boulevard. We have restaurants here, we have gas stations here, we have drugstores, the whole thing, and that's why they do it, to bring people here to sample the restaurants and stuff like that. It's a great boost for the city of Rockledge.
It's definitely been a great 2-day event that has been going on, and obviously we've been blessed by great weather today as well. Guys, we're going to jump into the boys basketball now. We're going to do a quick overview of the classes, and Steve, we'll start off with you here in the 2A.
2A locally, I like the way the Brevard Heat have been playing really since the outset. They continue to be the class of Class 2A, so to speak. Covenant Christian is playing well. Masters Academy is competitive. Unfortunately, the Cougars from Merritt Island Christian down a little bit this year, as is Morningside. But with districts rolling around in about a week or so, anything can happen. But I really like the way the Heat are playing. I look for them to be the top seed and maybe even win the district.
Orville, we have the 3A.
Class 3A District 13, Florida Air, Benjamin out of Palm Beach Gardens, John Carroll out of Fort Pierce, Jupiter Christian, and MCC and Rob Terry and the Hustlers. We mainly concerned about the two teams in Melbourne. That's Florida Air and MCC. Last year, Florida Air was the #1 team in the boys in Class 3A, and MCC was the #2 team in that district, and it looks like that's the way it's going to fare out this year. Steve and I normally fight about all the top 5 stuff, boys and girls, but we're solid on FAA being the #1 team in the boys' side.
All right, Stephen, we have the 4A.
Well, all year long it's been the Battle of the Tigers, the Cocoa Tigers and the Holy Trinity Tigers. You know, basketball is a funny game. Just as soon as you think you've got it figured out, you don't. Cocoa lost to Holy Trinity by 20 points a couple of weeks ago. Beat them the other night by 1 point, so they split during the regular season. I still think in Class 4A, those are the top 2 teams. West Shore is capable of playing good basketball. Space Coast, they've won a lot of games. They've won an awful lot of games, but still, I don't think they're quite there with the top 2. I think it's going to be the Tigers and the Tigers when the playoffs roll around. Which one's going to be on top? I still think top to bottom Holy Trinity is a little bit stronger, but it should be a great district to watch.
Okay, he likes the Tigers. And Orville to the 5A.
Class 5A District 14, the Merritt Island Mustangs, the Rockledge Raiders, Satellite Scorpions, and the Titusville Terriers. Last year, Logan Keith and the Rockledge Raiders set atop Class 5A District 14 with Chris Bainbridge and the Titusville Terriers being the #2 team in the district. Will that change this year? Yes, I think it will. Rockledge is not playing as well as they did last year. The Titusville Terriers are playing better this year than they did last year. I like the Titusville Terriers to be #1 in the district, and I think the Satellite Scorpions will beat out Merritt Island for the #2 spot. So I like this. I like the Titusville Terriers and Satellite in Class 5A District 14. And in Class 5A District 15, a split district, 3 teams there, the Bayside Bears, the Palm Bay Pirates, and then from down south in Riviera Beach, Suncoast. Bayside lost 2 games this week, and the Palm Bay Pirates also lost a game this week. But you have to like Suncoast from Riviera Beach being the number 1 team, and Bayside and Palm Bay will fight it out to be the number 2 spot. Only 3 teams in that district, anything could happen in a 1-game playoff.
Absolutely. And Steve, we have the 6A.
6A, I think, is basically a 2-team division, even though there are 4 teams in it. I think East River and Eau Gallie are down just a little bit. It's going to come down to Edgewater and Heritage. I think the Eagles out of Orlando are probably top to bottom a little bit better than Heritage, although the Panthers have shown during the regular season that they can compete with them. And Sean Willett, who's the best offensive player in the county, if he's hot, he can give them fits in districts. I don't know that they have enough depth to compete with Edgewater, but I don't think there's any question that Edgewater and Heritage will finish 1-2 in district competition in some order. Like I said, anything can happen. The Commodores are a funny team. They have been competitive at times, but look for Edgewater and Heritage to go 1-2.
All right, Orville, and we have the 7A.
7A to finish it up for today, the Class 7A District 12, Martin County down south, along with the Melbourne Bulldogs and head coach Mike Sullivan, Sebastian River Sharks, and the Viera Hawks. Last year it was Melbourne and Martin County. I think those 2 teams are going to fight it out for the number 1-2 spot again this year. Martin County beat Melbourne a couple weeks ago, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Melbourne turned around and beat Martin County earlier last week. So they're going to fight it out. It's going to be a 1-2 dog race there with the Sebastian River Sharks and the Viera Hawks coming in 3 and 4.
And that was the boys. And guys, we're going to kick it over into the top 5 now. And Steve, who do you have in your top 5?
Well, once again, Orville's going to be proud of me. I do not have a top 10 or a top 12 this week. I'm going to talk about a couple of teams that I really like, and that's the Falcons from Florida Air Academy. I think they're the best team in the county. They've been the best team all year long. I still like Holy Trinity. I know they lost to Cocoa this week, but they did defeat a very good Melbourne team last week also. So I'm not going to drop the Tigers because of their loss to the other Tigers, the Cocoa Tigers. But I like those 2 teams, and then you can throw Cocoa in there. You can throw Melbourne in there, Heritage in there, Titusville. There's so many teams, and Orville's going to say, quit talking about all the teams because you're going to cover them all. But I like the Falcons and the Tigers from Holy Trinity at 1-2, and I'll let my buddy go from there.
He likes Florida Air. And Orville, who do you got in your top 5?
Well, it's easy for Steve to pick the 2 top easiest teams, best teams, because that's easiest. You just look at the record and you throw everybody else down to the bottom. So he throws out 9 or 10 different teams so he can be his percentage of wins are better. So if that's the way he wants to play the game, we'll leave it at that, and we'll let him do it that way. Everybody that knows the game knows who really is doing it correctly. But
top 5.
I got top 5. Florida Air, number 1. Obviously, we both agree on that. We're getting better and better at that. I got the Cocoa Tigers and Holy Trinity at 2 and 3. Could be either way, depending on whoever tips up the ball during the night, because those 2 have played twice. They both won a game. Last year was the same way. Holy Trinity won that district, and Cocoa came in second. But for number 4, I got the Melbourne Bulldogs, and at number 5, I've got Chris Bainbridge and the Titusville Terriers.
That was the top 5 here, and we're getting towards the end of the season. Matches and games right now mean more than ever at this point of the season. This was Space Coast Daily for Steve and Orville. Switch sides on me. This is Space Coast Daily. I'm Zach Clark. Thank you for watching.